Good morning, everyone. We will be doing AS level paper for IT, which is 9626. This is going to be paper 2. It's a practical paper. Paper 1 is a theory paper, and paper 2 is a practical paper. So we will be doing paper 2 for October and November 2023. This paper is going to take around 2 hours and 30 minutes. So let's start with the first question. This paper is all going to be covered only about Excel. So we're going to be doing everything in Excel and then later in Word. So you have been supplied with the following source files, these two source files. If you extract it, you're going to find these two files. And you will create a spreadsheet for the quantity surveyor to calculate the amount of concrete. So we need to find the amount of concrete required for the foundation for a wall or building. We're going to have two options, a wall option or building options. Okay, so you must use the most efficient method to solve each task. All documents produced must be of a professional standard and suit the business context. And all costs must be displayed in dollar. That's an important point to remember. So let me just highlight it over here. And another point important to remember always, whenever we have a value given in millimeters, remember to convert it back to meter. So you will find it, everything is here mentioned in meters. So the first task says, create a new spreadsheet that looks like this. So in order to create it, what you need to do is go and create a new spreadsheet. I'm just trying to look for a name. So they told you to name it as KSA, followed by your center number, and then followed by your candidate number. So I'm just going to put this name for it. Right click and then make sure it is in Excel format, or just simply right click from here and after that we can just simply go and copy this same exactly style. It's just pretty easy. Make sure that this is merge in the center. These also merge with A, B, and C. These also merge with E, F, G. 3 for column A, whatever is from row 3, there can you see they're right aligned, while in C it is left aligned, while in B it is center aligned. And always pay attention to whatever is what type of alignment they have. Here these are all center aligned, and they're bold and a bit bigger, larger than these normal fonts. This is the largest size. I have already created it. Let me just show it to you. There is a small gap here, which is just make it very narrow, and then just put the rest of the things and make sure your spelling is exactly the same, matching with whatever here, because you have to do it in the exam by typing by yourself. So here there are some explanations that you have to do it and follow it. After that, just save it and let's move to the next task. Examine the data in this file. So open right now these two CSV files. Let's go ahead and examine these first. Okay, you have one file that is called soil. The soil, you are going to find in it the soil type. There are many different soil types, and the width for each soil type in millimeter, and the depth for each soil type in millimeter as well. Okay, there are some of them here shown in X, and that says that the X shows that the soil is unsuitable for the strip foundation. So this is about the soil type. The next one is about the climate for region where building will take place. So you have climate type and the frost factor. You have around 5 of the climate types and their frost factor. There is one point about it here. Let's get back again. All right, after examining, import these files into your workbook using appropriate worksheet names. The data in this worksheet will be used by formula you create in the main spreadsheet. Okay, so format the frost factor data as a percentage value. So before importing, let me just go and format this as a percentage. Okay. And then after that, I'm going to import these files into my main spreadsheet file. Okay. So I'm just going to right click here. And there are a couple of ways I can do it. I can just copy and paste it there, or I just can right click and then copy, remove, and then make sure that they are open. Both of them are open or all of them are open. And then go just to select your main spreadsheet file and click on create a copy. You will find that in your main spreadsheet file that it is here right now. The next one, let's go and do the same thing. Right click. All right, let me just close whatever is unnecessary right now. I'm done with this also. Okay, let's rename it right now. So this one should be named just soil is enough right now. And this is for the climate. So one is about climate, one is about soil. That's my main. Okay, task number 3. In the worksheet created in step 1, make sure that the cells B3 and B4 can only contain a blank cell. So they want these two cells to contain either a blank cell or the letter Y. Letter Y, it could be in upper or lowercase, either way, both of them. Add appropriate text for the user and do not include drop-down list or menu. Okay, to do so, let's go here. Oh, I have added this. I think I'm just going to remove it and I will show you how to do it. Actually, those things shouldn't be added yet. So it could be just like that. Okay, so over here, I need just to leave it either blank or so what we have to do, we have to go to data and then data validation. And from the settings here, we have to choose list, and we have just to put the sources, the two Y's, capital and small letter. One thing we have to do it here is just ignore the blank, remove it, and there is one thing is also remove the tick from the drop-down list, so it won't be a drop-down list. So either it's not allowed like this, they don't want a drop-down list, so just remove it. So remove both those ticks. So it's going to be you won't be able to see anything. You need to apply this for both, okay, for B3 and B4. So you can add the Y, capital Y as well, but other letters are not allowed. Okay, they said also to add a letter, to add a message for the user, so don't forget to put an input message, any appropriate input message like blank or Y entry, and enter only Y in small capital letter or just leave it blank. And also make it clear that for the error message, what you want to add it over here. Okay, I have adjusted the message just to be more clear, because the first one, if we put yes, that means it is for the wall. We want to construct and know the cost of the wall. So I put enter yes for a wall. That's for the first B3. And then input proper message, I put it to construct a wall, or just leave it blank if not. Our message is the same. For this one, I just changed it to the building, and exactly all the settings also the same in B4 as well. Okay, after that, let's go to the next point. So in cell B6 and B7, make sure right here and just an easy thing. Let's just first read the question. B6 and B7, make sure that users can select from drop-down list the soil type and the climate type. Use the worksheet that we imported in the previous step here. Okay, so you can see this is a soil type, which is based on these soils. And this is climate type, which is based on this climate types over here. So it's just simply we want them to be showing here in a drop menu list. That's pretty easy. We'll just need to go to data validation and click on settings, choose list. And from the source file, we need, as here it is in the soil, we just need to click on the source and go over here and select over all types of soils. So it's going to just appear all here. The second one also the same thing. Excuse me. So go to climate and click on it, and it's just going to appear here. One thing also important, try to put an appropriate message. So choose only from this given list of the soil type and put an error message as well that you need to choose only from the list. Both needs also appropriate user message. Okay, that's all for this. And then next one, enter a function in cell B14 to look up with the width of the footing in meters. So again, it is in meter. So here it is in B14. Just let me go and check B14. Okay. All right, here just will be like normal numbers. We're going just to enter different random numbers. Here we had to select either here Y or here Y, one of them. Here we have to select whatever they ask us. Okay. So enter in function B14 to look up for the width. So we want to find the width of the footing in meters. Use the soil data imported also in the previous step. So I want to find the width of the soil. Okay. So over here you can see there is a soil, and I just need to get through VLOOKUP the value. Let's just try to do it, VLOOKUP, and the value will be taken from here. So table array will be also from here, and just ignore the headers, no need for the headers. The column index, I need to get the width, so width is the second column here, and it needs to be exact match. So as you can see that I'm getting, but there is one problem over here. They want it in meters. So it was mentioned that to convert from millimeter to meter, we need to, because it's smaller, so we will need to divide it by 1000. So you just need to divide this whole value over 1000. Those must be the values that there are x. So yeah, that's why it's showing an error. But anyway, we're going to handle this in a while. For right now, it needs to be divided by 1000. The next point is enter a function in B15. Also, this is the same like previous one to look up the depth right now of the footing in meters as well. Use the soil data import in stoked. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to replicate it. But before replicating, I need to fix some of the points. I'm just going to make this absolute value. This is going to be also the soil type. We just need to get the depth based on this soil type. So soil type here is on the third column. I will need to change here to the third column. Okay, and again it will be divided also by 1000. Why? Because this needs to be in meter, and the given value is in millimeter. Number 7, edit the formula placed in step 6 over here to increase the depth of the footing by the frost factor percentage. Use the climate data imported in step 2. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to modify it, this formula over here that given here right now, and we need to modify it based on this function. So it's going to become the value of the depending soil type, that's whatever we got it right now, multiplied by here right now 1 plus that frost factor percentage. So to get the frost factor percentage, it depends on the climate. So we need to do another VLOOKUP to depend on the climate to get it and carry on the function. So that's the value that we already got it. Then back again to that's the value multiplied by 1 plus, was it plus? Yes. And then right now I want to get a VLOOKUP to get that frost factor percentage. So I'm going to use again VLOOKUP. Right now the value will be depending on the climate because I want to get the frost factor depending on the climate type that I'm choosing here. So the table array will be right now selected from here. Ignore the headers. We don't need the headers. And the column index, I want to get, of course, the second one. And it's going to be exact match. Okay, brackets issues. Yes, for this VLOOKUP one. Okay, yeah. So we got it. That's the number. So next one is enter formula in cell B16 to calculate the length of the footing in meters. I need to get the length in meters. Oh, they gave us right the equation for it, which is the length of the wall plus the width of the footing minus 0.1. It's related with the wall, width of the footing. Okay. Just this one. So the length plus the width minus 0.4 or 1. Okay. All right, for the next question is enter a formula in cell B17 to calculate the volume of the footing rounded up. So we need to round it up to the nearest 0.1. The volume is going to be the width multiplied by the depth multiplied by the length. To do so, let's go. Okay, that's going to be the width. It's already all here, multiplied by the depth multiplied by the length. And this needs to be rounded to nearest 1. Okay, so that's this one. That's round or round up? Round up. That's 2, 1. All right. Next one, place in formula in cell F14 and F15. So to copy the values from these cells, B14 and B15. So you have on the opposite side as well here. We need to copy them from here. Just to copy, we can say so just B14 and B15, these two. So to do so, this equal to this and this one equal to this one. All right, they just need only these two values. I'm not going to do the rest. So let's stop over here. Right now, enter a formula in cell F16 to calculate the length of the rectangular footing in meters. So that's going to be over here. Is the length. Here we calculated the length by a given function or equation. And here let's see how, yes, they gave it to us the same. but multiplied by 2. So let me first, length of the wall plus the width. So let's check first the length plus the width of the building, the width of the building and the length of the building. So these two values, not this width. And then minus 0.4 and need to be multiplied in the beginning by 2 multiplied by this whole equation. Okay. Next one, enter a formula in cell F17 to calculate the volume of the footing. To calculate the length here. Okay, and okay, to calculate the volume again here. So F17 key over here. Okay, I just got confused that we calculated the volume already. And yeah, again, we have to calculate it over here. So to calculate the volume of the footing, round it up. So again, round it up also to the nearest one. So again, it's going to be width multiplied by the depth and the length, but the values are going to be from here, a bit different than these values. Up to 1. Okay, for the next task is in cell B18 and F18. Let's have a look at this. This is B18, which is the concrete cost, and here also the concrete cost for the building. This is for the wall. You need to find just the cost. To calculate the cost of the concrete, round it up, round it to and display the nearest dollar. Okay, so remember it needs to be also in dollar. And the concrete, just for your information, 1 concrete or per cubic meter, it is 124 point something. So let me take this value to calculate. Let's start with this one. So it's going to be the volume multiplied by meter per, which is per cubic meter. And then we need to round it to. We need to round it to just the whole number. Let's round up the whole number. Okay, so we got it. And right now, don't forget that in the very beginning, they told us about meter and millimeter, and they told us all the fields also must be in dollars. So let me get back again here, as this is dollar, this is a cost. So I'm going to make it back into a dollar. I think I'm just going to use currency from here. United States. I'm just going to keep it 0. Same thing also here. To calculate it, we need this volume multiplied by this same number, and then we need to round it to the whole number. Again, we need to set it to the dollar. So edit the formula, place in steps 5 to 13. In all those steps, so that if the soil is not suitable for the strip foundations, appropriate messages are displayed in these cells. So they mentioned to us from steps 5 to 13 that we did them all here. So in case it is an X type, so you can see here, there are some values do not appear. So they want you to show up just an appropriate message. To do so, we can use if error, or there are different methods we can use them to trap the error. let's just use if error. So if error, first we're going to put this whole value, and in case it is not correct, then just put the message over here. Okay, we can just put unsuitable for the strip foundation. Let me just put this message over here. Okay, adjust the size. All right, so as you can see, whenever it is X, it's the value is, it's not showing up because this is X, so it should show this appropriate message. All of them should be repeated with the same thing. So let me just add it for all. This is already repeated from here, so it is going to be the same. No need to adjust it. This is going to be a bit different. Let me come back to this at the end. These two will be the same if error. Okay, that's different because this is not depending on any of those X values depending on it. All of them here, they're having VLOOKUP and depending on them, and they're depending on each other's, so they can show the error message. But this one is totally not depending because it's taking the values from here and it has no idea what is X or not. So to make it connected to it, we can use error message, or we can just simply use if, and we will say, we can choose just any of them. We will say if this one is equal to an error message like this, then at that time show that error message as well like them. Otherwise, go and do this calculation. So simply, it's going to show the same error message as there is an error message in one of them. Okay. Instead of just making it depend on F14, I'm just going to depend also on this same. No, that's all. That's okay. That's better in the same way. Okay, let's go for the question. So I believe I'm done with everything here. Let's check it. It's working. Okay, let's go for the next one. So edit the formula in place. We're done with this. Number 15, place a formula in your spreadsheet so that when letter Y is placed in cell B3. So if I put yes in B3, so B3 means I want a wall. So these are the calculations for the wall. And if I put Y here, just yes here, that means I want a building calculation. So the question is saying, when you put the letter Y in B3, so the content of the cells of the range E18 till G18, and from E8 till G18 are not visible. So if I put it yes here, then this part should not be visible, and vice versa. If I put yes here, so that means this will become yes here, then this part, which is starting from A8, should not be visible. All right. Okay. After that, we need to save all those things in with this name. So remember, when you save your files, previously, this is an important point, by the way. Previously, this file is supposed to be saved up to till here. That's it. Okay, nothing should be added into it except whatever is just mentioned here. But this next file should be saved up to till these points. Okay. So what we're going to do here, we're going to add a conditional formatting. Whenever I add y here, this just one disappear and one appear and so on. So to do for this one, so I'm going to select this one. So this is related with the building. So if I put yes in the first one, this is going to disappear. Okay, so highlight this first, go to conditional formatting, click on new rule, and we're going to select use formula to determine which cells to format. Okay, we're going to use a formula over here to make it disappear. So we're going to use if this one is equal to yes, at that time show this true. Okay, just they will just recognize whatever is true and they will try to hide it for you. Otherwise it's going to be false, but it is based on this if this happens. So if it is true, what you need to do, I need this whole thing to become white, to just disappear. Filling also to disappear. Okay, all right, let's try it. All right, can you see? It disappeared. But there is one problem here with those borders. That's an easy thing. We can fix it. Let me show you how to do it. Go to format and go to the borders over here. Choose this one and choose the second lightest color over here from the gray and add it on the border. That's the quite similar to the original borders. So you can see over here. Okay, and let's apply it also for the second one. Right now, highlight the second part here. Go to new, go to the last option, and click over here. If in case it is a building, so it is equal to yes over here, then we need to hide the wall part. Okay, let's check it. So it is a building. Building calls everything is showing over here. And in case it is a wall, then wall calls and all the related matters and factors are related, are showing or visible over here. So the next one is done, but the saving point. Saving point is very important. So let me right now go and save this one as the name they suggested. And you need to make it with 1. Okay, so let's save. Okay, so far this one with the new name have been saved correctly. Let me go, okay, save it. Let me go and open the previous one. So I had so far I have saved 2 files, which is the original one, the very first one that we did it, and the second one. Second one contains only formulas and stuff. The first one should be only plain with this type of design. Okay, so just make sure when you open the first one, you do not have any other points in it. I saved it by mistake, that's why it's appearing over here. And you should remove all those stuff from here. It's supposed to be 4, 3, 2, and then try to remove also the same from here. We better be cautious about that point and not to Okay, that's it. And then let's move to the next question. So test your spreadsheet with the following test data. Save the test as a spreadsheet with the given file name followed by your center number, following number. So whenever we test, we have to change the name. We have to enter these values and we have to set that name to avoid those saving issues and problems. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to create them first and then modify them. So you can see two. So I'm just going to take one. This is, I'm going to turn it into two. And then I have three. I have as well four. Yeah. So that's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one should be 5. So let me also create one more. Just 5. Okay, right now I'm just going to add those values. So that's supposed to be for the wall. That means just a minute, I think here, please. Wait, leave it. Okay, so here, let me just get to this point. So freestanding wall, 12 meter. So that's, first one is for a wall. It's supposed to be 12 meter on gravel and a climate that's never frosty. So we should say yes for the wall. It's supposed to be 12 meter long. And it's supposed to be built on gravel and never frosty weather or climate. Okay, so that's the first one, and then you have to save it with this name or just Control S, make sure that it is saved. Next one, which is the one that we saved it, number 3. Supposed to be a building and it's supposed to be 4 meter long and 3 meters wide, soft chalk, and climate is also the same, never frosty. It's a building, 4 for the length and 3 for the width, and soft chalk. There is chalk and then between brackets soft and weather never frosty. Okay, these are the values, and make sure that the length also yours is working. I mean, it's not showing that number because it's not depending, so it should show like that. So Control S and save it with that new name. The next one is 4. Next one, it's supposed to be building as well. 4, 3, same thing. And for 9. Never frosty as well. Alright, so it is 501, 510, so it is correct. Save it. The next one is So it's supposed to be the same building as well. That's supposed to be 4, 3, granite, and sometimes frosty. So that's correct. Control and S and save it. Okay, so you should get all those files all saved with you here. The last part, which is the relationship or making an ERD. Oh no. Is it? Oh no, yeah, not it. So there is a problem in the design of this spreadsheet. Identify this problem, enter in cell A20 of Q of this last file they mean. Let me just go and open it. So enter in A20 what is the problem and how would you resolve the problem. Note, you do not need to have to correct the problem. So you don't need to really just correct it, just suggest or mention what's the problem and how you can solve this problem. And then save it with this last thing. I'm just, before I open it, I just don't want those type of issues. I'm just going to save it. All right, the problem, we have a couple of problems over here. That let's say I want to enter both for a wall, okay, and I want to enter also for the building. So can you see what happened? That's an issue. Both disappeared. Excuse me. So to avoid this type of issues, what we can do, they're asking you to put the suggestion over here. So that's the problem. That whenever we enter y in both cells, which is B3 and B4, we get to or all the data or all the content disappear. Yeah, all the content disappear. So how to resolve this issue? You just can say to solve this, we can use a duplicate value highlighter from the conditional formatting. So it will be flagged or color it to the red. You don't need to do this, but I'm going to show you how this can be solved. We just simply can go here and click on duplicate values. So in case both are like this, so it's going to show that, you know, there is something wrong over here. So, but we don't need to apply this thing. So in case you applied it, remove it. They ask you not to apply any, not to apply the solution, just write it down. Okay. Another type of issue we're having is the length and the width issue. That if there is a length and plus the width of the building, if it is less than 0 in the footing, and sometimes we're going to get a validation issues. Just so what we can do is simply just can use the validation to remove this type of issue with the minimum number. What is the minimum number of width? What is the minimum number of the length? You can mention any of those problems, or you can mention both problems and how to resolve them. If it is less than 0.2, then it will give us the footings to be 0. You can just try it and check it, but don't mess up your file. So just give it here as a suggestion how to resolve it. So restrict not less than 0.2 from the validation. All right, that's for this. Let's go for the last part of the question. So here, this is related with the ERD. The quantity surveyor provides services for each customer, such as calculating the amount and the cost. So there is a quantity surveyor provides services for the customer, such as calculating the cost of the concrete, the number of the bricks required for the project. He sends an invoices to the customers when he has finished the work to ask for payment. The quantity surveyor wants to use database to store details of each invoice and the customer. So they want to store about invoice and customer. Invoice will be sent. So each customer can be sent more than one invoice. All right, that point is important. But each invoice is sent to only one customer. That make you imagine the relationship right now, one to many, from customer to the invoices. So each invoice should have a unique invoice number, contain the name and the address of the customer and the project, contain the details of the service provider, and of course the cost of the service. Simply, we just need a conceptual ERD diagram. Let me open the book, the conceptual ERD diagram, which is just a very basic one, simple one. You just need a header and you need the contents, that's all. All you need is just the header and the names of the fields, and make sure that they're rounded. So let's just go and create it. Okay, let me just show you my created one. Let's just and after you are done, you can see that I saved it in Word. After you're done, make sure that it is in PDF file. So I have to convert it into a PDF. So to create it, you have to go to Insert. And from Insert, you have to go to Shapes and choose this design that is with the rounded corners. Okay? Just use it and then use this line to make these lines over here. For the colors, for just to make the line straight, you can use hold Shift on your keyboard and adjust it. It will be straight. Excuse me. For the colors, increase the weight if you want a bit and make the color black because it's better than to be colorful. It can be distracting. And then start to insert, right click. Let me just show you how I did it. Okay, I will turn it into just this one. And then right click, add text, and I started typing. All right. And then after I'm done, I adjusted the height and I put the line for it. First by holding Shift and I adjusted it. After I'm done with the both, I created also by using the line, same thing. I use this line to create this one to many. So main important thing is here, I have the customer ID, first name, surname, phone number, address, zip code, or you can say postcode. And what else I can put? Address, phone number, you can put customer's email. All right. And then for the invoice, we mainly need a unique number according to the question paper. We need the customer ID, project, and the service, and the cost. So invoices can be many invoices, but customer will be like one customer can have many invoices. So the relation is one to many. After you're done, you're sure of everything, go and click Save as a PDF. So that's the end of this paper. If you have any questions,